When the deep, unforgiving winter finally tightens its icy grip on the highest, most isolated peaks of the Himalayas, the entire landscape transforms into a desolate, frozen wasteland. Temperatures across these jagged, windswept ridges plummet rapidly and without warning, frequently dropping to a staggering 40 degrees below zero as the pale sun sinks behind the mountains. Hurricane-force winds begin to violently scour the steep, rocky inclines, stripping away the loose, powdery surface snow and exposing the bare, ancient, and deeply frozen granite rock beneath. The air grows incredibly thin and painfully sharp, carrying microscopic shards of ice that act like glass, making every single breath a dangerous challenge for any living creature. For almost any other mammal traversing this immense, elevated kingdom, this extreme level of sudden, biting cold is an absolute, unavoidable death sentence that forces a desperate retreat. Most alpine species migrate downwards, seeking the relative safety and thicker atmosphere of the hidden valley floors, abandoning the brutal, exposed summits to the mercy of the elements. But the elusive snow leopard does not retreat from the oncoming storm, nor does it seek refuge in the lower, warmer valleys where the other animals nervously huddle. Instead, the solitary mountain ghost remains high above the cloud line, fully embracing the deadly drop in temperature, and it does not just survive the freeze, it thrives. This incredible, almost supernatural winter resilience is not born of sheer, stubborn willpower, but rather it is the result of highly complex, beautifully evolved hidden biological systems. What we are witnessing when the snow leopard faces the Himalayan winter is an advanced and parallel masterclass in natural thermoregulation and supreme anatomical adaptation to extreme cold. Let us closely examine the remarkable, legendary coat of this apex predator, which serves as its primary defense against the plunging temperatures and the unrelenting freezing mountain dales. The leopard's luxurious, smoky grey fur is a true marvel of natural engineering, having evolved over millennia to perfectly counteract the deadly effects of high-altitude atmospheric freezing. The coat is incredibly dense, possessing a staggering concentration of up to 26,000 individual hairs packed tightly into every single square inch of the animal's powerful body. This extraordinary density forms a thick, impenetrable, and highly insulating barrier of permanently trapped warm air, acting as an invisible thermal shield against the surrounding icy void. Because the trapped air cannot easily escape, the leopard's core body heat is held safely and perfectly in place, preventing the lethal onset of rapid hypothermia during storms. The outer layer of guard hairs provides an additional defense, coated in natural oils that effectively repel melting snow and freezing moisture, keeping the insulating undercoat completely dry. Even the extreme biological details of the snow leopard's physical extremities are highly adapted to conserve precious thermal energy and prevent the devastating loss of body heat. Their ears are unusually small and elegantly rounded, sitting low against the skull, specifically designed by nature to minimize exposed surface area and prevent debilitating frostbite. If their ears were larger or more pointed, the thin, delicate tissue would rapidly freeze and die in the biting wind, compromising their crucial, hypersensitive auditory tracking. Similarly, their massive, fur-covered paws act as incredibly effective thermal barriers, preventing the rapid leaching of body heat when stepping on solid, frozen glaciers and sub-zero rocks. Dense tufts of coarse hair grow deeply between their specialized toes, providing not just sound-dampening stealth, but crucial insulation from the freezing earth with every single step. As a massive, dark winter blizzard begins to violently roll into the high valley, it quickly casts a blinding, chaotic whiteout over the entire steep mountain face. Visibility drops to absolute zero in a matter of minutes, and the howling wind reaches a deafening pitch, signaling a deadly drop in atmospheric pressure and temperature. Yet, the snow leopard does not panic, nor does it waste precious, vital energy sprinting wildly in a futile search for a deep, protective subterranean cave system. It calmly and methodically navigates the blinding storm, relying on its deep cognitive map of the territory to find a shallow, naturally occurring indentation in the leeward rock. Stepping carefully out of the direct path of the freezing gale, it simply lies down on the frozen stone, utterly indifferent to the rapidly accumulating layers of snow. It curls its powerful, flexible body into a very tight, highly efficient spherical shape, actively reducing its overall physical footprint to expose as little surface area as possible. By tucking its nose near its hind legs and keeping its paws pulled tightly against its warm chest, the leopard masterfully minimizes the rapid escape of radiant heat. Then, in a brilliant display of evolutionary genius, the leopard deploys its most unique and famous physiological adaptation to combat the deadly, freezing inhalation of winter air. Their incredibly long, exceptionally thick, and muscular tails brought forward and wrapped entirely around its resting face, acting exactly like a specialized biological thermal scarf. This majestic, spotted tail is nearly as long as the leopard's entire body, and it is thickly insulated with the same dense heat-trapping fur that covers its torso. By burying its sensitive nose and mouth deeply within the thick fur of the tail, the leopard creates an autonomous, life-saving, and highly effective closed-loop breathing system. As the leopard slowly breathes out, the warm, moist air from its exhalations is captured and temporarily trapped within the dense, insulating hairs of the enveloping tail scarf. This trapped exhalation effectively pre-warms the incoming, freezing ambient air before it is drawn back into the nasal cavity and travels down into the animal's delicate lungs. If the leopard were to breathe the 40° below zero air directly, the shock would rapidly lower its core temperature from the inside out, leading to a swift, freezing death. Instead, this continuous cycle of filtered, pre-warmed respiration allows the great cat to comfortably maintain its internal thermal equilibrium, even as the storm rages violently around it. As the hours pass and the blizzard continues to dump heavy, unrelenting powder upon the jagged peaks, the snow slowly begins to entirely bury the resting leopard. Rather than being a danger, the deeply accumulating snow actually serves as an incredible secondary layer of natural insulation, reinforcing the leopard's own internal heating mechanisms. The thick, unyielding coat prevents the leopard's body heat from melting the snow directly touching its fur, ensuring that a cold, wet layer of ice does not form. As the powdery snow piles higher and higher on top of the sleeting cat, it effectively forms a protective, natural igloo that blocks out the biting, deadly wind chill. Inside this dark, silent, snowy tomb, the atmospheric temperature is actually significantly warmer and far more stable than the chaotic, freezing hurricane swirling violently just inches above. Secure within its thermal fortress, the snow leopard willingly enters a state of profound, meditative calm, consciously manipulating its own biological rhythms to survive the waiting period. Its resting heart rate slows down dramatically, shifting from a steady, active rhythm to a low, powerful, and highly efficient pulse that carefully conserves precious oxygen and energy. The leopard's overall metabolic energy consumption drops to a mere fraction of its normal active hunting state, allowing it to survive for extended periods without needing fresh caloric fuel. It essentially becomes a silent, breathing stone, completely hidden beneath the growing icy drift, perfectly attuned to the slow, ancient rhythms of the frozen Himalayan mountain range. Entire days and deeply freezing nights may effortlessly pass like this, with the leopard remaining absolutely motionless in a frozen, solitary vigil amidst the harshest conditions imaginable. It is an unbelievable display of biological endurance and the most unforgiving extreme by one planet Earth, where the margin for physical error is absolutely zero. They wait out the deadly, screaming storm with absolute, unwavering patience, trusting completely in the millions of years of specialized evolution that engineered their magnificent, resilient bodies. Deep within the snowpack, the leopard listens to the muffled, distant howling of the wind, sensing the subtle atmospheric shifts in pressure that signal the passing of the blizzard. Their finely tuned survival instincts tell them exactly when it is safe to break their meditative slumber and return to the active, challenging pursuit of high-altitude existence. When the extreme weather pattern finally breaks, and the violent winds begin to subside into a gentle, icy breeze sweeping across the newly transformed, pristine white landscape, the pale, distant winter sun finally crests the towering peaks, casting long, sharp, blindingly bright reflections across the undisturbed, sparkling blanket of deep, frozen mountain powder. Suddenly, the quiet, unassuming snowdrift explodes with sudden, powerful kinetic energy, shattering the serene silence of the alpine morning as the hidden predator decides it is time. The snow leopard emerges triumphantly from its temporary, icy slumber, pushing upward through the heavy snowpack with a stunning display of sudden, explosive, feline muscular strength. It stands tall in the brilliant, freezing sunlight, violently shaking the heavy caked powder from its immaculate, thick coat in a beautiful, rippling wave of silver and grey. The frozen snow flies off its fur in a shimmering, crystalline cloud, revealing a magnificent creature that is completely and utterly untouched by the deadly sub-zero freeze. Despite being buried alive in one of the most brutal winter storms on the planet, the leopard's core body temperature has remained absolutely perfect and dangerously functional. It stretches its long, powerful spine, extending its massive, fur-covered paws into the fresh snow, feeling the familiar, frozen crunch of the jagged earth resting securely beneath. It takes a deep, grounding, and incredibly slow breath of the crisp, desperately thin alpine air, reawakening its senses and deeply analyzing the new, post-storm olfactory landscape. The leopard aerostrate's sharp, pale eyes scan the massive, sweeping valleys below, looking for the telltale signs of blue sheep or ibex that may have perished in the storm. With its biological furnace reignited and its muscular frame fully limber, the mountain ghost steps forward, seamlessly resuming its eternal, solitary, and endlessly calculated territorial patrol. The extreme cold does not slow it down, rather, it seems to energize the great cat, propelling it forward across the treacherous, neatly sculpted ridges of solid ice. They are creatures fundamentally built for the absolute extreme, completely unfazed by the terrifying realities of an environment that would instantly kill almost anything else. They are sculpted by the absolute cold, their viridity woven with the brutal, uncompromising harshness of the highest, most isolated peaks in the entire world. Watching a snow leopard flawlessly execute this deep winter thermoregulation is to witness a true biological miracle of extreme endurance and unparalleled evolutionary perfection in real time. Their survival is a quiet, beautiful testament to the incredible, stubborn resilience of life, even when confronted with the most hostile, barren, and unforgiving forces of wild nature. The snow leopard continues its silent journey along the sheer cliff edge, its thick tail swinging smoothly behind it, acting once again as a perfect, dynamic, and graceful counterweight. It leaves a fresh, solitary trail of massive, rounded footprints in the deep snow, the only visible evidence that this phantom of the high mountains was ever truly here. As the sun climbs higher into the crisp, cloudless blue sky, the temperature remains brutally cold, but the leopard moves with the relaxed, effortless confidence of a true king. This endless cycle of freezing storms, quiet endurance, and relentless hunting is the eternal rhythm of the snow leopard, an unbroken chain of survival high above the world. They do not merely endure the winter, they completely own it, turning the deadliest weather conditions on Earth into a distinct, calculated, and highly effective tactical advantage. For the mountain ghost, the ice is not an enemy, but a familiar, comforting sanctuary, a silent partner in the long, beautiful, and lonely game of high-altitude survival. And so, the majestic feline disappears once again into the stark, geometric shadows of the jagged granite peaks, blending seamlessly into the vast, monochromatic, and freezing Himalayan backdrop. The story of the snow leopard is the ultimate epic of winter survival, an endless masterclass in patience, biology, and the sheer, breathtaking power of natural,